Hey, what's going on, peeps? How you doing? Hey, Crantex, what's going on? Crantex, what's happening? I am doing a live stream here, trying to figure out a way to get this like slightly lower. Okay, that's better. All right. So I made that video last week about trying to understand the meaning of music, right? And I have an unfathomable amount of research to do, an insane amount of research. And I figured, you know what? Wouldn't it be interesting to share that process with you guys? I already got a couple of cool tips from the comment section of the last video on where to get started. And first thing I think I want to do, though, before we get too crazy into it, is kind of define what we need to know about music and how we're going to define it if we're going to go through a video series and be like, hey, this, that, and everything else. These are what each of these elements mean, and this is what each... If we're going to be able to define it, we first need to know what the components are, I guess, is for lack of a better term. Hey, Pigmask, Smith fam, what's going on? Raquel, what's going on? Please, let's figure it out. Straight up, Billy Bob. All right. Now, I'm going to try and do these streams regularly earlier in the day, but I'm not exactly sure how often, when, or what time. So, is this video going to be up afterwards, middle of the night? Yeah, I'm going to leave this live stream up. I'm making it specifically to have no copyrighted material in it if I can. With the exception of maybe some dude's YouTube videos. You can't define music, you can define genres. Well, I'm making every attempt to try and prove that statement wrong. But thanks anyway for the encouragement. Either way, let's pop into it. So the first thing I have up here... Oh, whoops, you guys can't see that. Let's pop over here. Is there any way to put this in dark mode? Because, dear Lord, this is the worst. I have the elements of music. You're going to see how terribly organized I am on this. And elements of emotion. There's a reason why I bring up emotion, and I've addressed this a long time ago. Perlovsky, music and cognition. Scholarly articles. Yeah, give me that. Music and academic performance, no. Cognitive function of music, part 1. Here we go. Abstract. Ancient and contemporary theories of cognitive functions of music, its origins and evolution are reviewed. A hypothesis is presented, blah, 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 blah. Additional information. Okay, so knowledge, blah, blah, blah. Hold on. How do I fucking open this? Full article. There we go. Damn it. I have to buy this shit? Come on. I was able to get access to this before. Either way, he posits as his hypothesis in this specific paper that proto-human beings made noises that weren't really inherently musical, but weren't inherently language, if that makes any sense, so they did have meaning. And when human beings came into the evolutionary process to where we are now, those noise makings that we did, those verbalizations, split off into language, which was concretely semantic, and then music, which was semantically ambiguous. It had no meaning, if you will, no concrete definition. And because of that, we use music to resolve dissonances in our own psychology. Oh, sorry, got some super chats here. 1 second. Just some support. Been around since the dreaded Fine Bros days. Come a long way. Thank you, Freddie. I appreciate that. Zyoko Ono's Crailing. Yes, it certainly does count as music, sadly, Alex. To all of our chagrin. Yet it does. Or maybe we'll define it out of existence. So it doesn't have semantic meaning in the fact that it can be defined in that sense. You can put a definition to it. But it has to have some sort of meaning to us, because if so, why is music so meaningful to us? And I think it's because it speaks to the emotions. He did actually say something about music being emotion-driven in this here, who has inspired me to think about the role of musical emotions in human cognition. Yeah, so inspired me to think profoundly. So that's where I'm bringing in emotions. I think it's pretty much agreed upon. I could be wrong. I might be making suppositions here. I'm pretty sure it could be agreed upon that music is a communication medium of emotion. And I'll be honest, besides positive and negative, I couldn't even list any elements of emotion. So I'm imagining we're probably going to have to do a lot of research in that department as well. So this is kind of the foundation of where we're heading, chat, if that makes any sense. Billy Bob, 2 hemispheres of the brain. Don't want to live on this planet anymore. Sorry, man. It moves us. Well, it's very non-specific. I mean, yes, we can observe that it moves us, but what about us does it move? How does it move us? By what means? You know? Don't be so melodramatic. Does black metal count as music? Well, to everyone's opinion but mine. No, it's music. Say it has more than just emotion, since that what art is, more so all music is art, but not all art is music. I'm not sure if I fully understand that sentence. You'll forgive me. But, I mean, it could be more than just emotion. I would agree. It definitely has something to do with the dopamine response in our brain. That's scientifically proven. And I should say observed, scientifically observed. Music also speaks to the fanatics. I'm not fantasists. Talking about, fantasy. I'm not 100% sure what you mean by there, my man. Either way, music is something innate to us. I mean, it's very obviously innate to us, yes. Music is a fundamental portion of human cognition. That's why I would say, more so than other arts, it's even more fundamental than, say, a visual medium or, basically visual mediums. Music has the ability to make us feel happy, sad, angry, energized. Yeah, I mean, it does. But how? Why? Like, we know that it does. We've observed that. But that's not saying by what means. How does it make us do that? Just here to trigger some people. Well, don't be a dick in the chat, because if you do, then you will be banned very quickly, good sir. Either way, lyrics don't count. Depends on the song how much they count. In this case, I want to remove lyrics from the conversation to start. At some point, we're going to have to bring them in, because they are so culturally fundamental to how we consume music right now. But I would say, for now, I want to remove lyrics from the conversation. I feel like at that point, you start to add semantic information to your non-semantic communication medium, and that kind of muddies the waters in a way, Iron Maiden's new album count as music. Yes, just very fucking boring music. All right. So, I would say, place I would like to start. Somebody linked me, or didn't link me, they clued me in that there's been a bunch of research done by doing MRI scans of people's brains while music is playing of some sort. So one, why we love music. People experience a complex range of emotions while listening to music, according to this study of the brain. Studies show that music can arouse feelings of euphoria and craving. Okay, arouse feelings of euphoria and craving. This is where, while I believe this to be completely accurate, I don't think it's specific enough. But then again, you know, it's something that I think we as humans don't have a really great understanding of. There's going to be a whole lot of me making suppositions here. This is going to try to be founded in fact and study, but I'm not going to make any promises that I'm going to get this 100% right. I'd love to discover this together with you guys. So let's check out this study from Mike.com. God damn it. Of course it's from fucking Mike.com. All right. Here's a surprising look at what music does to your brain. I'm going to grab another soda water very fast, but then we're going to continue this. And we're listening to chill hip-hop music, motherfuckers. Damn right. This is like one of those videos where PewDiePie explains, like, multiverse theory or some shit. Has this, like, ridiculously chilled out music where he's talking about this existential dread topic. Alright. I'm gonna pop back over here to chat really quick before I start going into this, because I don't have two screens. Avalon says, gotta practice tonight, but want to give my support. Thank you, Avalon. I greatly appreciate that, man. Speaking of Lettuce, great band. Yeah, Lettuce is a pretty fucking fun band, man. I'd love to see them live. I bet they'd be killer. All of it comes down to how a song comes together. Yeah, but that's specifically what I want to dig up. And in the last video that I did, I was like, well, what does 1-4-5-1 mean? You know, what does that do? What element of a song does that help bring together? What fundamentally does that chord progression do? It does something. We can observe it, but I don't know if we can fully define it, or at least I don't know if we've tried hard enough yet. One thing about fMRI is that it tells you where in the brain something happens, but is temporarily delayed relative to a stimulus. Okay, which seems quite important for music and rhythm. Yes. So I guess at that point they would have to adjust for the delay, I assume. So can music elicit brain responses like a drug? 100%. I don't know that it's exactly the same, but it's very similar, because most drugs, if not all of them, that are for recreational use, all release dopamine. And there's been several studies that confirm that listening to music can allow your brain to release dopamine similar to drugs. You're seeing Lettuce in November. That's awesome. Instinctively, we attracted or moved by music. As nice as all of these very succinct, highly general reasonings are, or definitions, I don't think, like, just saying instinctively. Well, what about our instincts? What made our instincts act this way? That would be almost like a evolutionary biology question at that point. I want to get to the fucking meat of it. So let me just make sure I'm still centered. I'm going to move over just a smidge. All right. Yeah, I think I might have moved my camera a little bit. I think that was part of the issue. All right. There we go. Actually, better yet, I'm going to adjust my lights very quickly too, because I'm a little dark in comparison to everything else. All right. That is better. Oh, whoopsie. All right. Let's pop into it. We often take music for granted. For example, the majority of American workers listen to music most of the workday. Yet when you try to talk to them about what exactly music does to you, it's hard to find the words. It seems mystical and abstract. All right, fuck this article. Let's go to the study, because these people are just going to flower up a bunch of dumb shit. Utilizing functional magnetic resonance imaging. 2008 study. Okay. So there's a 2008 study that focused on observing the brain responses of musicians while they played music. And there's a 2013 study that looked at fMRI recorded brain activity for listeners as music was played. Taken together, they paint a powerful portrait of what exactly music influences us to do in what way. Where's the sources for this? Okay, so different studies suggest that listening to music can arouse feelings of euphoria and craving. All right, so all of these are going to link to the same thing. A different study. Yeah, except the cookies. All right. A melodic lyrical song might make you happy and want to sing along. Quote unquote melodic is such a shit fucking word. I'm sorry, it is such a shit word to use. It's more intuited than defined, and that's why I think we should dump that fucking word. Dump it. It is semantically shitty. Either way. Okay, so let me see. A study found something even more striking. The 2013 study. All right, so we're gonna pop that open for ourselves. Listening to music lights up the whole brain. Okay. Where's the 2008 study? Into an MRI. Is this it? All right. How brains see music as language. No, I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy it. Not only that, this is not a fucking study. This is an article from The Atlantic. So I love how the reference from Mike.com is an article from The Atlantic, which is referencing the study. They didn't get the direct fucking study themselves. All right, we'll come back to the musician one. Either way. So this is 1 degree of separation, 2 degrees of separation to get to hopefully what will actually help us. God damn it. Damn it. I'm gonna have to pay money for this shit. Oh, this sucks. This really sucks, chat. Another thing I always wanted to know is what makes a particular melody catchy or memorable. Yeah, that's kind of the $1 million question, isn't it? I say it has to do with what your brain is trained to listen to. So you're saying the sociological argument, at least I would interpret that as the sociological argument. You could say it's psychological, but I don't think it's necessarily a Pavlov's dog type of response here, though I'm sure it could be. Yeah, background music is chill, I agree. Hate it when that happens. Could someone give him the money to view the study? I don't know. I guess you could, but even still, I'm not all about that right now. Let me get back to, okay. So let me check the price here of Perlovsky. 48-hour access to the article PDF and online version. Article PDF can be downloaded. Okay. This is stupid. $53? There's got to be a better place to find this from. Hold on. There's got to be a better place. Alright. Cognitive function of music, part 1. Google Scholar. Okay. Come on. Come on. Okay, here's some full text. Music is okay. So his opening statement here: ancient and contemporary theories of cognitive functions of music, its origins and evolution are reviewed. A hypothesis, blah blah blah. Hypothesis presented that promises to unify the field and theory, and a theory is proposed of the origin of music based on the fundamental role of music in cognition. The split is considered of the vocalizations of proto-humans into two types, one less emotional and more concretely semantic, evolving into language, the other preserving emotional connections along with semantic ambiguity, evolving into music. The evolution of language towards the semantically powerful tool of today required emancipation from emotional encumbrances. He's basically saying, in order for language to have better utility for us to more effectively communicate with one another, to be like, this is a can. Inside this can is water. The can is shaped like a cylinder. All of these have very specific meanings, but it's very dry and removed from emotion, because if we start injecting emotion into it, it's kind of needless information and could cloud the effectiveness of the communication. What was you saying? The evolution of language towards the semantically powerful tool of today required emancipation, getting away from the emotional encumbrances, opposing, but no less powerful, mechanisms required a compensatory evolution of music toward more differentiated and refined emotionality. Basically saying, because we lost so much of the emotion from language in order to more effectively communicate with one another, this required for our brains to function and not go insane, that we needed another form of communication through sound that was much more grounded in emotion. So he is saying in this statement that music directly relates to emotional expression, I would say. And more emotional than happy, sad, depressed, or hungry. You know, like, I guess hungry is not really an emotion. That's an actual physical sensation. But regardless, you know, way more refined than that. The need for refined music is grounded in fundamental mechanisms of the mind. The need for refined music is grounded in fundamental mechanisms of the mind. This is why today's human mind and cultures cannot exist without today's music. That is an interesting fucking question, or statement right there. The hypothesis is that the fundamental cognitive function of music is to help resolve cognitive dissonances created by language. The hypothesis is that the fundamental cognitive function, the root of what music is meant to do, is to help resolve cognitive dissonances, which for those of you who don't know, it's a dissonance is when you hold two contradictory things to be true at the same time in your brain. Every human being has dissonances. That's not the clinically psychological definition, but that's the practical utilitarian definition. to help resolve cognitive dissonances created by language. Without this ability, evolution of language, cognition, culture is not possible. So without evolving music to the state it is now, we wouldn't have the evolution of language, cognition, and culture that we have today. It's inherently necessary. It's some pretty powerful shit that I want to come back to. I'm probably going to have to do a lot of this research on my own at some point as well, because I can't keep talking the whole way through it. Let's go to let's do some where to go here? Is this actually the whole study? Discover that. Fuck off. Here, read full text. Hold on, I'm trying to figure this out. This is published in 2012, by the way, so it's not super old, but I'd be interested to see if there's more published on this. This is not nearly as long as I remember it being. Still pretty long, though. Bibliography. Ooh, Aristotle. Nice. Aristotle's pretty bae. But all right, we will come back to that. I would say before we go to MRIs and start looking at biology, I want to have a better fundamental understanding of what emotion is. As far as I understand it, I could be wrong on this, but if I remember, emotion is kind of a bridge between the stimuli that we take in our senses and is a way for our brain to interpret that stimuli and provide us motivation to take action on something. I could be wrong on that, but that's why we can look it up. What is emotion? Not emotion in music. What is emotion? A natural instinctive state of mind deriving from one's circumstances, mood, or relationships with others. Thanks so much. All right. Let's start with Wikipedia. Emotions are biologically based psychological states brought on by neurophysiological changes, variously associated with thoughts, feelings, behavioral responses, and a degree of pleasure or displeasure. There is currently no scientific consensus on a definition. Okay. Emotions are often intertwined with mood, temperament, personality, disposition, or creativity. Yeah, I would agree with that. Research on emotion has increased over the past 2 decades, with many fields contributing, including psychology, medicine, history. Okay. Numerous theories that attempt to explain the origin, function, and other aspects of emotions have fostered more intense research on the topic. Current areas of research in the concept of emotion include the development of materials that stimulate and elicit emotion. Okay. So we still don't even fully understand it. In some theories, cognition is an important aspect of emotion. Other theories, however, claim that emotion is separate from and can precede cognition. Okay, that's not helpful. Consciously experiencing an emotion is exhibiting a mental representation of that emotion. Let me say that again. Wow. Consciously experiencing an emotion is exhibiting a mental representation of that emotion from a past or hypothetical experience, which is linked back to a content state of pleasure or displeasure. Okay. The content states are established by verbal explanation. This is dense. This is dense. I don't like how dense this language is. Damn. All right. So to break that down for a second, to break this paragraph down, basically there's a theory that claims that emotion is cognition. So cognition is an important aspect of emotion. But then there's other people that say emotion comes before cognition. You have the emotion before you have the cognizance. I'm more inclined to say that cognition is just an important aspect of emotion. If I had to guess, based upon just my own intuition, I would say emotion is a motivator. It was developed because of the complexity of our brains. We needed some way of cutting through the bullshit of all of the fucking noise that's up here and all of the things that we are consciously and subconsciously trying to work out in our brains. So emotion kind of acts as like a knife of cutting through all of that noise and just being like, hey, this is a thing you need to pay attention to. You know? Like, this is a thing that's important. This is very important right now. You know? It's one of the many means of doing that. We also have fight or flight response and adrenaline that can help with that too. But that's a completely different aspect. So I think emotion is, in my opinion, a motivating catalyst. Or rather, a catalyst for motivation, I should say. Sorry. Does that make any sense? That's just a supposition on my part. I can have fifis without thinking about it. Yeah, exactly. I don't think we have the math to say which comes first. I mean, I would say that emotion is a part of cognition in general. It's a cognitive process, so that's why I would think that they're not one and the same. But I wouldn't differentiate emotion from cognition, personally. Would you say emotion is similar to intuition, as in what comes naturally to us before we overthink? I don't know. I don't think that they are one and the same, but I think that there is something intuitive to emotion, if that makes any sense. How about a deaf person's perspective? I don't know. How about a deaf person's perspective? Go for it. When could you take my class, right? This isn't a class, this is a study. You're taking the class right now, and I'm taking it fucking too. What about the cultural background musically as a factor of enjoying a certain type of music? Without a doubt, that's the case. But I'm breaking it down to even before cultures were a thing, if that makes any sense. I want to break it down to its most fundamental. I mean, yes, the culture you were raised in is very obviously going to impact the type of music you like to enjoy in one way or another. It has to. By definition, it has to. You know, that culture becomes a part of you. But I'm much less interested in what culture influences you to enjoy things, and more interested in why we enjoy them at all. Regardless of what culture it is, every culture has music, period. Why does every culture have music? That kind of takes a step back from the societal claim that you're trying to make there, if that makes any sense. Many other hearing impaired people are able to enjoy music, so I have heard. Deem Shibata, MD, found that deaf people are able to sense vibrations in the same part of the brain that others use for hearing. Awesome. That's cool as hell. Yeah, I know the TED Talk lady. What's her name? I'm going to come back to this dude, too. Talk deaf musician. This lady is a fucking amazing TED Talk. I feel like TED Talks are so incredibly overrated, like insanely overrated. But This particular TED Talk is fucking amazing. Evelyn Glennie. She is not only a deaf musician, she's actually a professor of percussion at a prestigious university, I believe in the UK, but I could be wrong. And they originally weren't going to let her into the university because she was deaf, even though she was musically gifted. And it basically explains that deaf people still feel vibrations, and there can even be its own kind of more intimate way of experiencing music, experiencing the vibrations differently from different angles and everything. But either way, I posted a link to that in the chat if you guys want to bookmark that for later. It's a fucking great TED Talk. Either way. All right, so we were at emotions. I think that emotion is a part of the cognitive process and doesn't come before cognition. I would say that it is in itself a part of cognition. Either way, emotions are complex. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wikipedia, for summing it up for me. Like, no shit, they're fucking complex. Sorry. There are various theories on the question of whether or not emotions cause changes in our behavior. I am very willing to say that yes, emotions cause changes in our behavior, without a doubt. On the one hand, the physiology of emotion is closely linked to arousal of the nervous system. Yes. Emotion is also linked to behavioral tendency. Extroverted people are more likely to be social and express their emotions, while introverted people are more likely to be socially withdrawn and conceal their emotions. Emotion is often the driving force behind motivation. There it is! There it fucking is. It's not always, but it's one of the ways it can be. Often the driving force behind motivation. I think that is its function, in my opinion. I think that is its function. It's supposed to motivate you. I don't think it's all of its function, but I think that's a primary source of it. Like, at the end of the day, the emotion is there in order to get you to take a step back and think about what the emotion is and act upon it. It's intentionally not supposed to make you feel good, or it is supposed to make you feel good, on the other hand. Emotions are not casual forces, but simply syndromes of components, which might include motivation, feeling, behavior, and physiological changes. But none of these components is emotion. Ugh. All right, so this is extraordinarily non-helpful. Let's take a look at what the fuck this is. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 primary, whatever the fuck these are. Vigilance is an emotion? Okay. The wheel of emotion. All right. Let's click on that. Plutchik's Wheel of Emotions. In 1980, Robert Plutchik diagrammed a wheel of 8 emotions: joy, trust, fear, surprise, sadness, disgust, anger, and anticipation. Inspired by his 10 postulates. I have to look back into that later. Plutchik also theorized 24 primary, secondary, and tertiary dyads, feelings composed of 2 emotions. Okay. The wheel emotions can be paired in 4 groups. Primary, so that'd be these guys, I assume. Secondary, 2 petals apart. Sadness and anger is envy. Okay. Tertiary, 3 petals apart. Shame is fear and disgust. I don't know if I gathered that, but okay. Opposite emotions, 4 petals apart. Anticipation and surprise. Okay. Oh, okay. Here's his fucking thing here. Oh, God. Okay. So we're gonna need to go take a look at this motherfucker. Plutchik's Wheels of Emotions. God damn it. I feel like this is a good place to start as far as getting the components of emotions. Study. All right. Ooh, we got a video lesson. Fuck yeah! We are going to class. All right. Un momento, peeps. Gonna have to pause the lo-fi music. Before we start, I'll take a look at chat here really quick just to catch up with you guys. Prefer Wheels of Cheese? No fucking shit, Yan. By the way, awesome to have you on stream, especially this late. Sounds like marketing talk, just using a lot of words to say the same things, 100%. Maybe Psychology Today would be a bit more helpful. Doubt it. Highly fucking doubt it. For the Wheel of Wheels, better than the Wheel of Fortune. Sure, yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Noah Reed. Hell yeah. Bike talks are underrated. Thank you, Raquella. Cheese is your favorite emotion. Of course it is. Okay. Since cheese is your favorite emotion and you graced us with your presence on stream, before we get into this amazing video lesson, just so we can all experience this amazingness. Power metal never dies. This is the best song. You all know it's the best song. I'm gonna get another soda water, and then we're gonna continue learning about emotion. This is so bad. But my spirit remains metal ever. Oh my god, it's so bad. Power metal never dies. Power metal never dies. It's the fucking best. All right. Back to the serious shit. All right.
When we think about our emotions,
that is the worst. That is the worst recording. It's like she's speaking exclusively through her nose into the shittiest laptop microphone. Oh my god.
Tend to think of them as solely as states of feeling. For example, we may describe happiness as a state of feeling joy or pleasure. Psychologist Robert Plutchik states that there are 8 basic emotions: joy, trust, fear, surprise, sadness, anticipation, anger, and disgust. Plutchik created the Wheel of Emotions, which illustrates the various relationships among the emotions. While Plutchik identifies only 8 basic emotions, you can see from the wheel that there are many different degrees, creating a wide spectrum of emotions.
Okay. So, these kind of are like the same emotion, but at different intensities. Like joy is a less intense version of ecstasy. Serenity is a less intense version of ecstasy. acceptance or trust are less intense versions of admiration. Okay. I can see
Plutchik
that.
states that emotions are much more complex than most people realize.
No shit.
Emotions have a long evolutionary history. They are not only adaptive, but they have evolved over time in order to increase our reproductive fitness. Emotion plays an important role in issues of survival, and it involves both cognition and behavior.
Oh, hey, baby.
For example, let's say that you were approached by a snake, threatening event. You would conclude that you are in danger, cognition, which would cause you to feel fear, emotion. Your fear activates the fight or flight response. As a result, you slowly back away from the snake in an attempt.
Okay, so this is saying, let me back this up.
Involves both cognition and behavior. For example, let's say that you were approached by a snake, threatening event. You would
Okay, the stimulus. This is the stimulus here.
conclude that you are in danger.
The cognition is saying you're in danger. Okay.
Cognition, which would cause you to feel fear.
Okay. I'll agree to that.
Emotion. Your fear activates the fight or flight response.
Okay. I'm in agreement with this. I'm totally in agreement with this. So how the fuck could these assholes claim that emotion precedes... gosh, never mind. Sorry.
As a result, you slowly back away from the snake in an attempt to escape. Goal-directed behavior.
There it is. So this acts as a catalyst for motivation. And this is the motivation.
Robert Plutchik developed 10 postulates on which his evolutionary theory of emotions is based. 1. Animals and humans. Animals and humans both experience the same basic emotions in similar ways. 2.
Okay, quote unquote animals. I was gonna bring something up about this in one of the videos I'll be making on this, but not all animals experience emotions. I'm not gonna buy for a goddamn second that an ant experiences emotion. No fucking way. Like, there's no way I'm gonna buy for a second that an ant experiences emotion. I don't think it does.
2. Evolutionary history. Emotions appeared as a result of evolution. Emotions were present in animals even before apes evolved. 3. Survival issues. Emotions have evolved over time in order to increase the chances of survival in the...
I 100% agree with all this. I've never even done study on this before. This is all stuff I've just kind of picked up on my own, and I agree with all this.
environment. For example, trust results in collaboration
Aren't I so smart? I'm such a fucking big brain asshole over here.
and sharing between humans. 4. Prototype patterns. Although there are...
No! Yes, I'm a student. No! No, this is lame. Shit. Alright. You're gonna have to come back to it. Wheel of Emotions. Study.com. That's the same thing. 6seconds.org. What's this? Plutchik's Wheel of Emotions, exploring the emotion wheel. Emotions can be confusing. That's not helping me. Sure. Okay. Decode your emotions with one simple tool. Defined. Do we get another video on this? Oh well, I'll have to read it now. Did you find the top emotional sources? No. Okay, I don't want that. That's not... I don't want no fucking sources. I want the scholarly shit on this. Please. Positive Psychology Today, the emotion wheel. What it is and how to use it. Okay. This I think will be helpful. Can you guess how many emotions a human can experience? God damn it. Fuck off. Experience. It's around 34,000. I don't know how they did that calculation, but okay. With so many emotions, how can one navigate the turbulent waters? The answer is with an emotional wheel. Through years of studying emotions, American psychologists, blah, blah, blah. So while it's hard to understand all distinct emotions, we can learn how to identify the primary emotions and act accordingly. It's especially useful for moments of intense feeling and when the mind cannot remain objective as it operates from... Yeah, okay. Before you read on, thought you might... No. Okay, so we know what the wheel of emotion is, I think. Each of these emotions, but first, how about a clear idea of what we mean when we use the term emotion? In previous studies, researchers of emotions saw them as episodes influenced by stimuli. Okay, more specifically, emotion is defined as an episode of interrelated, synchronized changes in the state of all or most of the 5 organismic subsystems in response to the evaluation of an external or internal stimulus event as relevant to major concerns of the organism. Okay. Wow. That is some fucking dense speech. Yeah, who the fuck counted that? Oh shit. All right. Okay. So, motion is defined as an episode of interrelated synchronized changes in the state of all or most of the 5... Okay, let's find out what the fuck the 5 organismic subsystems are. So I have any fucking clue what the fuck that is. All right. Schur's list of organismic blah blah subsystems. Let's put the chill beats back on. There we go. All right, organismic subsystems, information processing, support, executive action, monitor. I don't know what the fuck any of this is. Effective function, evaluation of objects or events. Okay. Support is system regulation. Okay. Executive preparation and direction of actions. Okay. Action, communication of action and behavioral intention. Monitoring of internal state and organism environment interaction. So information processing is appraisal of events, cognitive arousal. Okay. Support is psychophysiological changes, neurophysiological component. God damn it, this is such loaded language. Executive, action tendencies. Okay. Action is motor expressions. Okay. Monitor. Okay, so it's like 5 different parts of cognition. 5 different things that you're fucking... Or organismic fucking subsystems is like shit that your brain is responsible for. Okay, we'll just call it that. I'm gonna take a note of that. Organismic functions, is that what it's called? Subsystems. Subsystems equals shit your brain is responsible for. There we go. Got it figured out. Done. We decoded whatever the fuck that is. So now let's go back to... Okay. Emotion is defined as an episode of interrelated, synchronized changes in the state of all or most of the 5 organic subsystems. It's an episode of interrelated and synchronized changes. Okay. In response to the evaluation of an external or internal stimulus event. Okay, so it would be in response to information processing, the appraisal of events. Where the fuck is it? There it is. As relevant to major concerns. After you appraise through information processing that the stimulus you just took in is relevant to major concerns of you, the organism, most or all of these subsystems change at the same time. Synchronized, or synchronized doesn't necessarily mean at the same time. Okay. Okay, this is a different way of looking at emotional components. God damn, this is a lot. Okay, so I want to take a quick break. I mean, I'm gonna be still here on stream, but I need a moment to digest this and just let my fucking organismic subsystems process all this fucking bullshit. My synchronized change in all 5 of my organismic subsystems was to get pissed off at how fucking stupid this sounds. Dear God. I'm just yelling shit about. In all honesty, I'm sure there's some pretty great information here, but holy fuck, my brain is hurting. My response to the emotion, which was a response to the stimulus, is to tell this paper to go fuck itself. Let's listen to some good music. Ah, goddamn. Hey, Dahlia. Miss you. It really does sound like orgasmic. 1000% yen. I didn't think big words were supposed to smoothen my brain. Exactly, Pig Mask. Between, like, trying to read the thing properly and then trying to, like, interpret in my head at the same time what the fuck that word is supposed to mean, it hurts. I'm going to ask my psychology professor for some more digestible material on this. Maybe, but I find that a lot of times the more digestible material doesn't have the amount of information in it that I need to really get it, if that makes any sense. A lot of times it's just like, oh, emotion is blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, that doesn't really fucking say much, you know? It's stuff like this where I have to look up what the fuck is going on that I actually find the most helpful, personally. But thank you for offering, Zach. I do appreciate it. Organismic, it's not a word. Organic. 100%. How you guys doing tonight, chat? I'm gonna continue with this in a second. I just need to give my brain a little decompression time. I've been at this for an hour already. Feel like I was watching a Star Trek episode with a heavy amount of techno babble. Yeah, that's basically all Star Trek is it's techno babble, but it's supposed to mirror actual science in a sense. At least the good old Star Wars was. I can't speak to the new ones. They're kind of the not bad. MTV's Sanctuary, hanging tight, man. Loving this chill music. And I have to do a Song Suggestion Friday live stream again tomorrow. Boo. Vulcans played music? Really? Matthew Roberts asks, what is music? You'll know it when you hear it, Matthew. Everything is recorded for the new Crusade single except the vocals. I am so excited for that, man. Very excited. Woo! Whoopsie. 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 How dare I? There we go. At least I'm not forced to listen to music today, precisely. Actually, if I had my druthers, I'd be putting on my Steve Vai playlist right now. Or actually, a nice ambient playlist would be great for this, honestly. For stuff like this. As much as I quote-unquote shit on ambient music on Song Suggestion Friday, I find it extremely useful when trying to do research like this or when trying to write a script of some sort. The snob and the meaning of music. That's a party I need to be at. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Got your CD last week. Awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you for supporting us. I appreciate that. Oh, I would love to play the ambient music for this, but I'm pretty sure it's all copyrighted. Thumbnail? I don't know. I googled one with the universe, and that's one of the images that came up, so I chose that. That'd be a dick thing to do, right? Oh, very much so, Ashley. Yeah. My band is Crusade. Let me see here. .com. Open the web player. In chat, I'm posting a link to our album. It's our debut album there. Came out earlier this year. And we have another single coming out soon. I'll say soon. I don't anticipate any issues, but until we get everything recorded, I'm not fucking making any claims. Yeah, we do progressive metal. All right. I think I'm sufficiently decompressed from this. All right. So, examples of emotional components. Subjective feeling, monitoring. We had monitoring over here, right? Yes. Okay. Monitoring. No. Okay. This has got to be different. It's got to be something different. It's got to be something different. Motivation. Because, like, yeah, none of these are motivation either. Okay. I don't like the fact that they're using the same fucking words. That's going to confuse me even more. God damn it. Fucking psychologists and their lack of consistency. Alright. Subjective feeling, primary function, monitoring, sadness, happiness, gratitude, anger, feeling good. Thank you so much. Feeling good. That's great. Action tendency, motivation, urge to weep, to jump up and down, to approach. Is the urge to weep an emotion? Maybe it's a component of it, but I don't think it's a component of it, personally speaking. I feel like the urge to weep is a response to release tension built up from an emotion, or I would say probably a dissonance that induces an emotion, and that emotion induces the physical sensation of wanting to cry. I wouldn't say that it's an actual emotion in and of itself, even though you could describe it as that. I don't think that accurately encapsulates what an emotion is. The urge to jump up and down, like, okay, action tendency, I think should be dropped the fuck out of here. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Although I agree that, like, these urges do exist, I don't think those urges are emotions in and of themselves. Appraisal. Mean making. I just lost something. I just received a gift. What the fuck are you? Okay. Fuck off with all this. This is not helpful right now. This fucking thing is just dropped in here for no fucking reason. We're going to move past it. All right. Above is a table of the International Handbook of Emotions and Education. It shows the relationship between these various factors and subsystems, as well as their presumed functions. There are also plenty of books on emotional intelligence. I think this is dog shit. I think this needs to be completely rethought, personally. I don't think that was logicked correctly. I don't give a fuck what fucking degrees they have and how much fucking time and energy and research they put into it. If you don't define your shit clearly, then you're wasting your time with all the other work you put into it. Peer review. Thank you so much. Urge to headbang. Yes, exactly. If music has no meaning, Ben, then I'll find it out. But it's not going to stop me. Anyway, emotions influence our actions in 5 main ways. Emotional component. Okay, this is how emotions influence our actions. All right, I take back everything I said. They put this fucking graph up here before they explain what the fuck it is. Okay, I take it all back. They're correct. They're fucking correct. I'll retract my statement. They're not full of shit. Okay. So yeah, we get that. But I don't want to know what it influences, even though that's nice. I'm not there yet. I need to know what the fuck it is. Are the components of these emotions we feel are present in all individuals. The intensity and expression of these emotions differ from one person to another. Okay, that is good. There are also social factors like gender, culture, and race that influence why people may feel emotions differently despite similar situations. Yeah, we don't need to know about the social factors right now. I get that they exist, obviously. That's what creates the context for why you would feel an emotion, but we don't stop. Push that to the side. We don't need that shit right now. It's not helping. For example, shut up. Okay. Shut up. Wheel of emotions. Here we go. This is what we're coming for. Giggity. Now that the complex system of emotions and all its components is a bit more clear. Yeah, sure. Way more fucking clear. Thank you. We can dive into the work of Plutchik and his wheel. The 8 primary emotions that he identified, which are the basis for all others, are grouped into polar opposites. Joy and sadness, acceptance and disgust, fear and anger. Fear is the opposite of anger? Huh. I'll have to think about that. Surprise and anticipation. Okay, surprise and anticipation makes sense why those would be opposite. I can see maybe why fear and anger would be opposite. Wait, hold on a second. Joy and sadness. All right, so it's joy and sadness there. Acceptance and disgust. Admiration and loathing. Okay, so they're just using different words. Gotcha. Fear and anger are emotions, but from my... Okay, not even going to speak to fear. Anger, I think, is a response that has to be closely tied to grief. It absolutely has to be, without a doubt in my mind. It's gotta be. Rage and grief have to be so closely tied. Because I have always thought as anger as an emotion that's a defense mechanism because you were just hurt, or because you feel fear, or because you feel grief, but your mind is not allowing you to experience those emotions. But we're going to continue anyway. The foundation of his emotions theory stems from the following 10 postulates. All right, here's the 10 postulates, which we were about to get to until the fucking video cut off. Here, I'm going to pop over here to see what you guys think of everything I say. Being somewhat similar, but not identical. Well, he's saying they're not only similar, but opposite. He's not only saying they aren't similar, he's saying they're the opposite of each other. It's pretty much just a human equation now by Aaron. Yeah, right? right? Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to tacos. Why can't anger lead to fear, and then anger lead to hate, and then suffering lead to fear, and... Sorry. Fucking, what's his face? Red Letter Media. Actually, I wonder if anger and joy aren't closer to the opposites than fear and anger. Honestly, yeah, I would say so, but I mean, then you also have grief as well, you know? A Jedi craves not these things. It is a period you go through if you're grieving, so yeah, they're correlated. Okay, yeah, totally. I think anger is a rejection of emotion, like rejecting pain causes anger. I tend to think it's supposed to be that, but I don't know for sure. I don't know 100% for sure. Because, like, are you going to have anger as a response to cover up vigilance? Are you going to have anger as a response to cover up amazement? I don't see that equation happening. You know, I could definitely see it for covering up grief or loathing. I could see it for covering up those two. But I don't see it as a response for covering up these four. I could be wrong though, so I mean I'm happy to admit I might be wrong. But either way, animals and humans, the midbrain or the limbic system of a human is similar to that of other mammals. Animals and humans experience the same basic emotions. Okay, so he's basically saying any animals with a limbic system. Okay. Let me make sure that I understand what the fuck the limbic system is. Limbic system is the part of the brain involved in our behavioral and emotional responses. Okay. Especially when it comes to behaviors we need for survival, feeding, reproduction, and caring for our young, and fight or flight responses. Okay. So it's like one of the more basic parts of cognitive function. Fundamental parts of cognitive function. All right. So yeah, any animal that has a limbic system. Let me just check really quick. Do insects have emotions? Okay. Now we're getting to something. There's no intrinsic reasons that insects shouldn't experience emotions. These are your body's emotional responses, and they can be, but are not necessarily coupled with... Okay. So, do insects have limbic systems? Controls that fucking have been found to exist. No commensurate structures have been found to exist within insect systems. Huh. So... fucking Scientific American who says there's no intrinsic reasons that insects shouldn't experience emotions doesn't say shit. It's saying, well, you can't prove that they don't. It's like saying you can't prove that God doesn't exist. It's like, no, that's not an argument, you shithead. Scientific American, just basically saying not scientific at all. Christ. It comes from the goddamn limbic system. And they don't have any fucking limbic systems or anything to commensurate with it. Fucking commensurate, rather. Yeah. God. Fucking idiots. Sorry. These people who are like, we should be fucking... we should be nice to everything because insects sang to me in my cartoons as children. That means they have souls too and emotions. No, they fucking don't. Come off it, you prick. Trust the science. Right? You can always tell someone's not very scientific thinking if they use the word the science. If the word the is in front of science. But they also don't. But, by the way, I am not by any means saying that we shouldn't respect wildlife, including insects. We should very much respect them. They do obviously feel pain. So that's you know, something you should consider. But they don't feel fucking emotions. Sorry, no way. Evolutionary history. Emotions came into being as part of the evolutionary process long before there were apes or humans. Okay, I'm down with that. Survival issues. The most influential role of emotions is to help us survive. Fully agree with that. Prototype patterns. These are the common identifiable patterns and elements that make up each emotion. These are the common identifiable patterns and elements that make up each emotion. Okay. Basic emotions. The most basic emotions are the primary ones. Trust, fear, surprise, sadness. Okay. That's his postulate. I'm going to take it at face value because I don't have nearly enough knowledge or experience to know. And even my intuition doesn't point anything in my direction. So I'm just going to say, I don't know, but I'll take it at face value for now. Combinations. The adding up of these various primary emotions will produce new ones, such as love, joy, and trust. Okay. I could see expressing that as love as an emotion. Guilt. Joy and fear is guilt? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know that that's the case. Yeah, though, I think you can feel guilty without feeling joy or fear. Maybe some fear, but you don't need joy. You can feel loathing and fear and get guilt. You can feel guilty for a shitload of reasons. I don't know. Fuck it. It just... that doesn't make sense to me. But either way. Delight, joy, and surprise. Okay, I could see that. Hypothetical constructs. Emotions are constructs or ideas that help describe a certain experience. Okay, hold on. Maybe because you feel justified in your loathing, maybe that's the joy part of it, is kind of a selfish component. I'm not sure. Either way, moving on. Hypothetical constructs. Emotions are constructs or ideas. Okay, emotions are ideas. Yes, they are 100% ideas that help describe a certain experience. 1000%. Yes. Okay, hypothetical constructs, but this right here, this is the fucking definition I was looking for. Emotions are constructs or ideas that help us describe a certain experience. That's fucking it. That is what I've been looking for. God damn it. That's a definition. Whoa. The fucking... Why is this text all shitty? There we go. All right. Gonna bring that down there. Plutchik's wheel of emotions. All right. Wheel of emotions. Fuck off. Okay. Opposites. Like many things in nature, there's a duality with emotions, hence each one has its polar opposite. I'll take that at face value for now. Similarity. The degree of similarity determines which emotions are more related and which ones are the complete opposite. Is that why they're on the wheel? Because I have zero doubt in my mind that rage and grief have more in common than loathing and rage do. But even still, I would absolutely say rage and vigilance do not need to be next to each other. Loathing and vigilance makes more sense to me. I think rage and loathing should be swapped around. 1000%. I think they should be swapped around. I could be wrong, but that's my guess. It's my total guess. Okay. Intensity. The degree of change is the degree of change in intensity from very strong to not so much produces the diverse amount of emotions we can feel, such as trust goes from acceptance to admiration. Yeah, okay. Trust goes from acceptance to admiration. Yeah. There we go. Fear goes from timidity to terror. Yeah. All these things. Elements of the wheel. Looking at the wheel, we can notice three main characteristics. Colors. Okay, before I do this, I need to take a quick piss really fast, but I'll be right back. All right. How are we hanging, chat? Hello, couch. I miss you. Well, the couch misses you too, except it never met you, Noah. Wasn't expecting Mike this evening. I wasn't expecting me either. How ironic now. Hey, old Iron Maiden still exists. They don't make it anymore, but it still exists. All right. Anyway, let's pop back into it. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. All right. Looking at the wheel, we can notice three main characteristics. Colors. The 8 emotions are arranged by colors that establish a set of similar emotions. Primary emotions are located in the second circle. Emotions with softer colors are a mix of the two primary emotions. Okay. So, apprehension, acceptance, serenity. No. Sorry. Joy, trust, fear, surprise, sadness. Okay. These are the boys. These are the boys right here that are the primary emotions. As you go towards the inner one, they're more intense as you go towards the outer. The ones with softer color being here. Fear and surprise is awe. Okay, I can maybe see that. Trust and fear is submission. Is that actual trust, though? Maybe. I don't know. Well, I'm not saying it's necessarily the same, but either way. Joy and trust is love. Okay. Serenity and... what is it? Anticipation. Interest. Okay. Serenity and interest is optimism. I could see that, yeah. Anticipation and anger is aggressiveness. Aggressiveness isn't an emotion. It's a character trait. That's completely different. That's bullshit. Aggressiveness is not an emotion. I'm not feeling aggressive. I'm being aggressive by doing things. Maybe, like the term that they use for eye of the tiger, there's a better word than aggressiveness. But it's almost like having that keen sense of that animal brain that you're on the hunt and you're ready to fucking kill. I could see that, but I don't think aggressiveness is the right word. But I think that's probably what they're trying to get towards. Disgust and anger is contempt. Yeah. Sadness and disgust is... I can't read that. Hold on. Let me download this really quick. Wheel of Emotions. Sadness and disgust is remorse. Deep regret or guilt for a wrong committed. Yeah, that sounds like total bullshit. Deep regret and guilt. Maybe you have disgust for yourself. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's what they're getting after there. Surprise and sadness is disapproval? Possession or expression of an unfavorable opinion. Okay, I don't think that's helpful. What does it mean to feel disapproval? Feel or show disapproval of something or someone you feel or show that you do not approve of them. Yeah, disapproval, to me, based upon your own stupid fucking wheel, would be closer to loathing than it would be sadness and surprise. It'd be closer to rejection, which has to do with loathing someone. I don't know. This doesn't make any fucking sense to me. That's fucking dumb. That last one is dumb as fuck. Surprise and sadness equals disapproval. That does not logically add up to me. Look, I get... We see Mike feeling disgust and anger a lot. Oh, they played dumb music at your new job. I'm sorry, babe. Alright, anyway. Yeah, I don't know that I'm agreeing with Plutchik's analysis here, necessarily. But anyway, so... we got the colors down. Layers. Moving to the center of the circle intensifies the emotion, so the colors intensify as well. For instance, at the center of the wheel, the primary emotion changed from anger to rage, anticipation to vigilance, joy to ecstasy, trust to admiration, fear to terror, blah, 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 blah. Moving to the outer layers, the colors become less saturated and the intensity of the emotions lowers. Relations. The polar opposite emotions are across from each other. The spaces between the emotions demonstrate combinations and primary emotions mix. So we see the emergence of emotions like love, submission, optimism, all this shit. How to use Plutchik's wheels of emotions. The beauty of this tool is in its ability to simplify complex emotions. I highly fucking doubt that. Understanding is a crucial step to solving any dilemma. I agree with that. When the question concerns our emotions that we process on a subconscious level, it can be hard to first identify and verbalize our needs. Yes, I agree. This is why the tool is so useful. It enables the user to visualize their emotions and understand which combinations of emotions created this outcome. Once we objectify and understand the emotions, we can empathize with ourselves and channel our focus in the direction of emotions we actually want to feel. Okay. In theory, I think this is right, but I think the ordering of this is so fucking off. Truly and honestly, I think it's some of these things just don't sit right to me. But either way, all right. I'm probably gonna need to do more study into emotion, but I think another thing I'm gonna have to look into is empathy. So one of my personal thoughts is the music itself, semantically unmoored, is a way of having people experience empathy, if that makes any sense. I would say you use similar empathetic skills to listen to music, as you would trying to understand someone's hardship or something, and feel the emotion that they're feeling. I don't think it's the same thing as empathy, but I think it's a similar trait, a similar process, because you're sitting here listening to, okay, for example, just because a song makes you feel a certain emotion, like the resulting emotion, does not mean that that's the emotionation, the emotion that's being communicated to you. For example, gonna, oops, duplicate. All right. Albuquerque. Weird Al. This song is not a happy song. It is not a happy song at all. As a matter of fact, it is a tragedy of sorts because of all the terrible things that happened to Weird Al. It is certainly fun. The music itself is fun, but the semantic information being communicated is not so. But I will say the emotional information being communicated in the music is that of being upbeat, fun, confident, quirky in a sense, which is supposed to inform you that this song is supposed to be fun. As a matter of fact, this is a bad example. This is a totally bad example. Because I was trying to make a point, and I don't think I'm going to be able to make the point with that song. Maybe I just proved myself wrong. Shit. So what I was trying to say was, just because they're communicating one emotion to you doesn't mean that that's the emotion you're going to wind up feeling. So like, you're going to feel some form of joy from listening to this song, even though he's communicating sadness or angst. But in all reality, musically speaking, he's communicating a certain amount of joy, which you're also feeling along with him. So this is a bad example. Fuck, the movie. Oh, that's interesting. I'm trying to think if there's another one. No? Shit. I'll have to come back to that. Oh, hey, it's my stream. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to come back to that. That's something I need to parse out some more. But either way, I guess more specifically, I do think that music listening experience and empathy are very related. They're very related somehow. And I think it'd be very much worth my time to look up some empathy studies. Either way, have a good night. Someone was leaving chat. Like a utility tool that's used differently when listening to music. That's how I look at it. Potentially, yeah. Either way. Alrighty. Let's pop back into it. Check's wheel of emotions. Alright. Emotions are constructs or ideas that help describe a certain experience. Another thing I'm going to drop in here is Perlovsky, music and cognition. Whoa. Fuck was that? Boop. Albuquerque. All right. Let's go back to I think we've gotten more than enough out of the emotion stuff for now. I think so. We've more concretely looked at what an emotion is, and we have an idea of what it does. So basically, you have a stimulus. And that becomes whoops. There we go. This to cognition. Emotion. Interpretation slash assessment. Emotion. I should say cognitive assessment. Here. Let's do interpretation, assessment, emotion. So you get the stimulus, your brain has to interpret this stimulus, then it has to assess the interpretation, then after the assessment, an emotion kicks in. Then motivation, or where are we at here? Action tendency. Let's say that. Action tendency, maybe. All right. Something like that. Motivation. Action. All right. Cool. So I think we got some good stuff out of that I think is helpful. You have the stimulus, the interpretation, the assessment, the emotion, which creates the motivation, and then the action, the resulting action. Or really, decision slash action. There we go. All right. The fuck is this? Oh, it's all these things with the MRIs. Okay, we're gonna need that to come back to that at some point. There's also this dude that was referenced to me, and it looks like it'd be super helpful. The problem is it's all from Argentina, and I don't want to have to sit here and read while this dude talks in a different language. No offense to everyone. I'm spoiled American here. Auto translate to English.
Las emociones. Veamos primero lo interesante que tiene la armonía, como para ya ir metiéndonos en esto de las emociones. Nosotros tenemos la escala este do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si. Y ya nosotros lo que podemos ver es que hay dos tipos de componentes. O hay semitono.
Oh, thanks. I semitono. Thank you. Thank you.
¿Sí? O hay tono. Esto es muy importante. ¿Por qué? Porque hay un centro de gravedad. El do es el centro de gravedad. Acuérdense que la armonía funcional, este grado da paz. Todos los demás generan algún tipo de tensión.
This is so not fucking helpful. Okay. So, yeah. Look, I'm not saying this guy is full of shit. I'm saying this interpretation, this translation here is real shitty. Real fucking shitty. Either way, yeah, this is a bad interpretation or a bad translation of what he's saying because it's not making any sense to me at all. So I might just have to say no to this dude. We'll see. But apparently he's got some good stuff on it. All right, we can ditch that. Ditch that. Ditch that. Let's do a little bit of cognitive function. A little bit more of that before I call it. All right. Music is a mystery. Aristotle listed the power of music among unsolved problems. Kant, who so brilliantly explained the epistemology of the beautiful and the sublime, could not explain music. Quote, as for the expansion of the faculties in the judgment for cognition, music will have the lowest place among the beautiful arts because it merely plays with senses. What a fucking cunt. Kant the cunt. According to Darwin, it must be ranked amongst the most mysterious abilities with which man is endowed. Contemporary evolutionary psychologists and musicologists cannot explain music. Pinker follows Kant, suggesting that music is an auditory cheesecake, a byproduct of natural selection that just happened to tickle the sensitive spots. Yeah, but that's such a fucking cop-out. Why, like, what is music? Oh, it just feels good. Oh, yeah, the very inquisitive fucking scientific mind. Thank you so much, Pinker. In 2008, Nature published a series of essays on music. Their authors agreed that music is a cross-cultural universal. Still, quote, none has yet been able to answer the fundamental question, why does music have such power over us? We might start by accepting that it is fruitless to try to define music. Very fatalist. Music is a human cultural universal that serves no obvious adaptive purpose, making its evolution a puzzle for evolutionary biologists. Maybe. Let's keep working here. These are just a sample of quotes from accomplished scientists. Here, we review a hypothesis based on arguments from cognitive science and mathematical models of the mind, suggesting that music serves the most important and concrete function in evolution of the mind in cultures. Oh, here, we say all of these people are full of fucking shit, and just because they can't explain it, they're like, oh, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. Yeah. Real fucking scientific of you. Sorry. We elucidated this function and discussed the neural mechanisms behind it. Okay. Because of the length of this review is published in two parts. Part 1 addresses basic mechanisms of the mind forming a foundation of the musical ability, the fundamental role of musical emotions and cognition, and briefly touches on the empirical and experimental evidence. Okay. Part 2 is scheduled to be published in 2014. It will review other theories, empirical and experimental evidence, and future research directions. I have never found part 2. I don't know if it was actually published. I've been searching for that for years, for a long time. I don't think he ever published part 2, and that pisses me off. How are we feeling here, chat? Yeah, YouTube translations are pretty bad. Auditory cheesecake sounds gross to you. Has often been connected historically with dance. Yeah, but I don't know that that necessarily means anything yet, you know? Music isn't biological. Maybe a study of memetics would be more fitting. You don't know that music isn't biological. You have no fucking evidence of that whatsoever. No offense. You have zero evidence to say it's not biological. I mean, if it's evolutionary, it's inherently biological in some way. Some animals make music too. Mostly when they want to fuck. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Basic mechanisms of the mind. This section summarizes the fundamental mechanisms of the mind, concepts, instincts, emotions, and behavior. These serve as the first step towards more complicated mechanisms essential for the understanding essential for understanding the function and evolution of music. The content of this section summarizes neurocognitive and mathematical arguments considered in detail. Oh God, okay. That's a lot. I'm not gonna read all that. There's no way. I'm not gonna read all that. And in references therein, thank you. The summary below is by necessity short and simplified, yet adequate for understanding the cognitive function of music. All right, the summary below is by necessity short and simplified, yet adequate for understanding the cognitive function of music. Okay, so it's going to be simplified. He's basically saying, trust me, we need this, but also trust me, it's right. The mind understands the world in terms of concepts. Concepts are neural representations that operate as mental models of objects and situations. I'm on board, Perlovsky. During visual perception of an object, a concept model in the mind memory projects an image onto the visual cortex. Okay. Which is matched there to an image projected from the retina. Okay. Instincts are mechanisms of survival that are much more ancient than mechanisms of concepts. Let's say that again, because that's important. Instincts are mechanisms of survival that are much more ancient than mechanisms of concepts. The mechanism of instincts is similar to the internal sensors that measure vital organism parameters and indicates when they are out of safe range. Okay. For example, a low blood sugar level in the blood indicates an instinctual need for food. Okay. Emotions designate a number of various mechanisms. We consider emotions as neural signals connecting instinctual and conceptual brain regions. We consider emotions as neural signals connecting instinctual and conceptual brain regions. That's weird. Okay, that's what it was. Okay. I forgot about this. So emotions connect the instinctual to the conceptual, is what he's trying to say. Which I find to be extremely interesting. Given what we just learned about emotions and how it prompts action. And also the fact that we say music is emotional. It's an emotional form of communication. But it also resonates very strongly with the more carnal side of our brain, our more instinctual side, if you will. That's why when you said there's no biological evidence for that, like that, there's no biological need for music or anything. It's like, it's not biological. It's like, you don't fucking know that, man. You have no idea. Emotions communicate instinctual needs to conceptual. Pardon me. Emotions communicate instinctual needs to conceptual recognition, understanding mechanisms. Emotions communicate instinctual needs to conceptual recognition, understanding. Okay. That makes sense. That makes total sense now. So that concepts corresponding to objects or situations can potentially satisfy instinctual needs, receive preferential attention, and processing resources within the brain. Thus, emotions evaluate concepts for their purpose of instinct satisfaction. Emotions evaluate concepts for the purpose of instinct satisfaction. That's absolutely going over here. Whoa, that's very, very large. Okay. So, stimulus, interpretation, assessment. Part of that assessment is instinctual. The emotion goes over the motivational. The interpretation turns the stimulus into a concept. That's what happens here. So we have the stimulus. The interpretation turns the stimulus into a concept. The assessment comes from the instinctual side, I would guess, and then an emotion arises. Or does the emotion arise and we get the assessment? Maybe that's the debate. Maybe that's the debate of what's going on. And this is why Perlovsky says, thus emotions evaluate concepts for the purpose of instinct satisfaction. I don't even know if I agree with that statement. Now that I'm putting it through. This is some dense shit. It says ass. It does say ass. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think I'm taking a break on this for today. This is starting to burn me out a little bit. But I'll be popping off a stream here soon. I'll be doing a song suggestion live stream tomorrow. And if I'm already going to be streaming that long, I might not do this stream tomorrow or Saturday. I might, we'll see. Fuck, why not? If I'm going to be doing it anyway, fuck, why not? Either way. So how are you feeling about this chat? Was this interesting for you guys? to talk about my emotions on Song Suggestion Friday. Oh, I never do that. Intellectually refreshing. I'm glad you thought so. I'm not going to be incorporating that into SSF anytime soon. No way. Yes. Ugh. Oh, I'm glad you appreciate that, Zach. It's partly to get some feedback from you guys, also to bring you along the journey with me, but it's partly also because it's going to motivate me more to actually fucking do this, because it's a shitload of work. It's a shitload of work, and it's probably going to get in the way of me making other regular videos, and I really want to pursue this. I absolutely think there is something here. Oh, shitpost all you want, Yen. I don't mind. Yeah, there's a shitload of aspects to the importance of music, which I think are all going to contribute to understanding its meaning. Word. Well, the idea is from doing research like this on the live streams, I will be able to make more music or more videos about this. Interesting tangent for next time. Nice. I like that we're questioning scientific analysis for being wildly vague. I mean, I'm fucking wildly vague too. What can I say? Make it a podcast? Nah. Nah, it's not my medium. I like the live streaming of it, honestly. It's not just gonna be one video. It's gonna be a fucking series of them, dude. It's gonna be a shitload of videos. It's gonna be a bunch of live streams, and then I'm going to take all these things I'm learning as we go along and make videos about them. Oh, it always gets back to food, Dahlia. Every single time. Whoa. It says no streaming. No stream data. I don't know why it says that. I'd try to stay off of Twitch, honestly. I'd rather just not do Twitch. But either way. All right. You guys have a good night. I'll be catching y'all later. Peace out, boys.